Okay, so let's talk about a third solution for how we could solve apples and bananas. And this one is going to use the string translate method. I'm sorry, yes, the string translate. And so this solution looks a little hairy, so let's code up to it. So here we are. We have our text and our vowel, and let's see how we can get from this point to this point. The first thing, we're going to create a translation table, similar how in jump to 5 we created the jumper table. Here I'm going to create a table. What did I call it over here? I call it trans. That's a good vowel name. Sure, trans. And if I'm going to hard code this, I can make a dictionary and I can say, for instance, A should go to vowel, and E should go to vowel. And you can see how if I type this out for all the vowels, upper and lower case, it's going to be a little tedious, but we can do it. It's not going to be too bad. Let's do it. Let's just do it for that much, and let's see how we can use this idea. We want to. We're going to be printing the version. What we're going to be calling is, and I have to look this up because it's always a little bit tricky. Here we're going to be calling the translate method of the text. So the text variable has a translate method, and we're going to pass to that is the result of calling make trans using our translation table. And let's see how that works. So if I run apples with foo, let's see, it didn't do anything because O wasn't represented. Let's put O in that table, and we're going to change that to vowel. So we have A, E, I, O, and let's just go ahead and put U there to vowel. And now let's run it, and it runs. Let's run make test, see how far we get. Okay, so it works just fine, except that it doesn't preserve the case. So I could go here. Let's just do it. It's not that difficult, and I can change these to A, E, I, O, and U. And I sure would like to. Here, I will just indent this a little bit. Makes it a little easier to read. And if I run test, almost A, E, oh, these need to be with the uppercase version of the vowel. So, a little tedious. Not too bad with the magic of copy and paste. Okay, so there's our code, and we can run our test, and that works. What we're doing here is we're making a translation table. We're saying that when you encounter the letter A, replace that with the vowel that's been given, and when you find the uppercase letter A, replace that with the uppercase version of the vowel that we were given. That works, but how do we get from there to this bit of text? Well, what's going on here is that you can pass in two lists to make trans. The first is basically the keys of this dictionary structure, and the second is the values for that dictionary structure. And to create the vowels, I'm doing this thing here that looks like I'm multiplying the vowel times 5. And that's something that's a little tricky about Python, and I like to play in the Python REPL to explore these ideas. Let's say the letter A, if I multiply that times 5, what I get is 5 of the letter A. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating one list that is all the vowels, lowercase and uppercase. And over here what I'm creating is an equally long list where I want the lowercase vowel and then added to, within in this add here between two strings is going to concatenate them. So take the lowercase vowel that's been passed in and add to that the uppercase version of that times 5. If I take that code right here and I assign my vowel is going to be the letter A, and I run that, it's going to create a list first of 5 lowercase a's and then 5 uppercase a's. So if I take these two bits of code and run that, it's creating a tuple that is these 10 characters, the lowercase and uppercase vowels, and then these are going to be the keys, which are the keys here, A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. And then here, the vowel, these vowels here are the lowercase and uppercase version. There's 10 of them to match up with the 10 letters on this side. Those are the keys. I mean, those are the values over here. So vowel, 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 and then vowel, upper, times 5. If I pass that to string make trans, it returns this as a dictionary, which is essentially the same thing here. Let's say I'll just copy this whole thing, trans, paste it in here. And if I call string make trans on the trans, I get back almost the same structure. So it doesn't matter how I create this, whether I create it by hand like this, or I use this, this handy shortcut, I can get the same bit of code. So let me take this. I'm going to use this. This is going to be my translation table. And I will pass that as the argument to make trans. Let's see how it goes. Run make test. Now that's a bit hairy. It requires a bit of understanding there of dictionaries and the make trans. If you didn't get that the first time, just keep playing with it. It's a really cool method that you can tuck into your toolkit, and we will talk about another version of the solution in the